Okay, so for this segment of Indispensables, what we're going to be looking at is your function keys.
Yeah, function keys.
Now, where are the function keys?
They're generally at the top of the keyboard.
Right across the top of the keyboard. They're the ones that say F1 through to F12 at the top of your keyboard. Now, a lot of people don't use them, and that's a real shame because they have some really good functionality.
Yeah, they've been there a very long time.
They have.
So
they have.
Pretty much all keyboards.
Yeah, part of the keyboard shortcuts that most computers will still use, regardless of what operating system you're running, well, specifically Windows, but regardless of what version of Windows you're running, then you'll see that the function keys are always there.
Yeah.
So, let's start off. We've got F1. Now, according to this, F1 is used to enter the CMOS and is also used to bring up help screen.
It's generally help, yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever active window you've got, if you hit F1, it'll generally conjure up the help file.
Yeah, so rather than looking across the top of this toolbar and finding the help button and then clicking on that, you just hit F1 and the help page will pop up.
Yep.
That's
Okay.
really cool.
F2.
So F2 is, according to this,
I know which one I use.
renames an icon, file or folder within Windows, right? So you can do a renaming function using F2.
Yes.
That's pretty
handy.
good.
It's really handy.
Very handy indeed. I guess you need to have the folder or at least the page open before you can do that, right?
Well, you just have
In
it
Windows
selected.
Explorer.
Yeah, in Explorer, if you've got it selected,
Yep.
and you hit F2, you're all of a sudden editing the file name.
Cool. So you select it, then hit F2, and you can edit the file name. All right. F3 opens the Windows desktop, according to this.
Yeah, I don't really use F3 much. What
No,
does
I
it
haven't
got?
really used F3 either.
Okay, there's a few things
It will repeat the last command. Interesting.
in a command line.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're using the command prompt, which we showed you before when we showed you how to get to your IP of your router, then that's when you use F3.
What else we got?
F4 opens the address bar in Windows Explorer and Internet Explorer. That's very useful.
Repeats the last action performed.
Yeah, in Word 2000 onwards.
Plus, yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
That's very cool. And closes the program with window currently active.
That's the one that I remember. Alt F4 will kill a program.
Right, Alt F4. Okay, cool. And we'll put up each one of these when there's something more in terms of using a function plus another key, then we'll put that up on the screen for you.
Sure.
So F5
This is a common one.
will refresh any browser that you've got open. And it doesn't matter whether it's your Internet Explorer or Google Chrome or Firefox. You hit F5.
No, it's the same for all of them, isn't it?
Yep, and it refreshes it across all of the browsers, which is very, very useful.
Yeah.
Especially if you're looking at something that completely updates all the time.
Bear in mind, if you hit F5 and refresh when you're logged into a secure session,
Yep.
it'll make you log in again because you break that session.
That's
Secure
right.
session.
That's right.
Yeah.
Secure sessions have all sorts of privacy settings and security settings that you have to take into account when you're using them.
Yep.
Okay, F6.
F6.
Move the cursor to the address bar in Internet Explorer and... Oh, right, so it just moves the cursor to...
Right, okay. Didn't know that one.
No, I didn't know that one either. That one's an interesting one.
What about F7?
F7 is spell check.
Spell
So
check,
when you're in a
yeah.
Word document and you want to do a quick spell check, hit F7. And then the spell checker will...
Emails too, Outlook.
Yep, and it will start straight away. That's really good.
And Shift F7, I remember that.
Shift F7 brings up the thesaurus. So if you want to use another word instead of the word that you've repeated 8 times, then hit Shift F7 and it will bring up a thesaurus so you can choose another word with the same meaning. That's pretty good and pretty useful. F8, now F8 normally when you are booting up, when you're first booting up and it says hit F8 to enter safe mode, then that's what it does. So this is basically a boot starter.
Safe mode's a way of diagnosing problems.
Yeah,
really.
yeah, because it doesn't allow you to put lots of. It just allows certain programs to come up rather than all the programs to come up, especially the ones that access the internet or use drivers. All right, F9. Now F9 refreshes a document in Word, and also if you let's say you're using Outlook for your email client and you want to do a quick send receive check, then hit F9 and it will do a quick send receive check right there.
Okay.
So that's really cool. I actually use that all the time.
Right.
And it also works on Mac OS 10.3 and later, which is really good.
Okay.
Okay, so F10. Now, in F10, it activates a menu bar for any open application. So if you've got something open and you want the menu bar to pop up, then you hit F10.
Okay.
And it pops up. And then Shift F10 is the same as right-clicking on a highlighted icon. So if you've got an icon and you've selected it, then you put Shift F10 and it's the same as right-clicking, although I don't know why you wouldn't just right-click.
Yeah, actually.
Maybe you don't have a mouse. If you don't have a mouse functionality or something's gone wrong, then you can still you can still right click, and that's useful, especially if your mouse is dying or
if you've got a mouse with one button,
or if you've got a trackpad on your laptop and it's stuffed itself up, which has happened to me before, and I couldn't actually right click, and it made me crazy. So Shift F10 will help you do that. Okay, so now we've got F11.
Now, this one's a very
F11 I can show you right here by hitting it. What it does is it makes it go into full screen, so it hides all the menu bars and everything else around, and it just goes into a complete full screen.
So if you're looking at, if you're reading a long document or something like that, browsing around, and you really don't need all the borders, a movie, well, you can usually full screen, but it's just a nice way of getting the most out of the real estate of your screen.
Yeah, and to stop that, you just hit F11 again, and obviously all the toolbars appear again down the bottom, as you can see.
Yep.
And across the top, all your tabs appear as well. And finally, F12, it says here, it will open the Save As window in Microsoft Word. So if you want to create a different version of a document that you've just modified, but you want to keep the original and you want to make several versions, then what you do normally is hit Save As. And so hitting F12 will open the Save As for you, and you can use it. Now, if you hit Shift F12, it's just like hitting Control S, which is just normal save.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So there's F1 through F12, the function keys.
The function keys on your computer that sit on the top, and you probably never use them when you should. Okay, so that's our Indispensables segment for today. We hope you've enjoyed it, found it very useful, as we have and always do.
Yeah.
And if you have any other queries or questions that you'd like to know about function keys, then please let us know at our Facebook and our YouTube page.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.